So we're back. If you're new to my channel, I moved to New York last year and it's been a doozy. This city is like an anomaly. It's like much different than like anywhere else I've ever lived. There are just like a lot of things that I didn't know about New York that's not really advertised. People in New York don't really talk about it, so I thought I would just give you guys the rundown on it, okay? Just a little bit of backstory about how I got to be here. I went to college in Chicago. I graduated. I stayed in Chicago for a couple years. But I just knew like that wasn't like what I wanted to do. I knew where I wanted to be. I knew the industry that I wanted to be in. So I knew like at some point you're gonna just have to bite the bullet and move. I moved here with my boyfriend, and if you have the ability to, or like if you know somebody that wants to live here as well, I would definitely say get with them, chat it out, and see if you could deal living with that person. Because moving here on your own is probably like, it seems like it would be easier, but it's probably like way harder to move here on your own than it is to move here with another person. Get rid of your stuff. Like, I know it seems scary. I know it seems like, oh, it'll cost less to just take my things with me and get a U-Haul. We calculated it, and it actually would have cost us more to like try to get a U-Haul and bring all of our stuff here versus like just buying new things. I've never experienced like such an intense application process as it is living here in New York. You need to have an income or a combined income if it's more than one person of 40 times the rent. Take the rent price again, so $2,000, times that by 40. If you don't make more than what that number is, chances are they could deny you for the apartment. I'd never heard of that before in my life. Whenever I moved in Chicago, it was always like, do you have the deposit? Do you have first month's rent? Is your credit good? Okay, move in. Please pay attention to your credit. So I started paying attention to my credit score earlier. Luckily, I didn't have like any like major things to clean up on it. But if you do, like, I would say like minimum, you should be coming here with a 600 credit score, and that's bare minimum. They are super strict on credit. Like, broker's fees. This is something I've never ever experienced in my life either. Broker's fees is basically like the apartment realtor, like the realtor that's showing you the apartment. They will charge a fee of like 10% or 15% of what the total year's rent is. So sometimes broker's fees like can be like $5,000 on top of your first month's rent, which could be like $2,000, and your security deposit, which is another month's rent. So you could end up coming out of pocket like $7,000. That's why people say like it's so expensive to live here. And once people find an apartment here that they really love, or not even really love, that they like semi-like, they'd rather just stick with that as long as they can until they like have to move, versus like just choosing to move willy-nilly. I used Street Easy because it has a filter on it that you can it has a filter on it where you can look at only apartments that have no broker's fees. Just make sure you ask them flat out, is there a broker's fee? Another thing with apartments here is that if you get, so say you find a place, it's $2,000. They want you to put down deposit. The deposit is what secures your place. They check your credit, blah, blah, and then they'll let you know if you're approved. A lot of places, if they take the place off the market for you and they run your credit check or whatever and you're approved, if you want to back out and say, never mind, I don't want that apartment anymore, you won't get your deposit back. It'll be non-refundable. The only way that they will give you your deposit back is if you actually are denied for the apartment. So if they say, oh, sorry, your credit's not good enough or whatever, or like for whatever reason that they deny you for the apartment, then they will give you your deposit back. But in most cases, if you get approved for it, you have to follow through with it, or they keep your $2,000 deposit that you put down. And then it's like, well, what do I do? This person didn't tell me there was broker's fee. So just keep that in mind, y'all. I got a lot of questions before too about like how much should I save to move here. I didn't save enough. That's what I will say. I came here, I had maybe like $2,500 in my savings account, which I thought was like more than enough. It was not. I moved here like way underprepared, and a lot of people are like, then why did you do it? I just knew if I didn't go, I was never gonna go. If I waited until I was actually like fully ready, I was never gonna do it. So if like save as much as you can, like cut back as much as you can. Eat your ramen noodles, girl. Eat your tuna fish. Like just save as much money as you can moving here, because when they say the cost of living here is expensive, they're not lying. It's expensive. Okay, the job market here is like grossly oversaturated. They always say that there's someone better than you. There's 3,000 or 4,000 people better than you. Like there's someone always better than you, like looking at the job that you're looking at, applying for the job that you're looking for. If you get denied like more than once, more than 5 times, more than 10 times, like don't be surprised. Like there are so many people here, and there are so many people coming here every single day. So if you're changing industries and you're moving here, be prepared to start out at the very bottom. I was like 9 times out of 10, you're gonna have to take a pay cut to come here and do this, because you don't have any experience in this industry. College internships and blah blah, like that's great and all, but if you don't have any working salaried experience in that industry that you're coming here for, more than likely you're gonna have to start out at the bottom. And it's annoying, and it really humbles you. It really tests your patience. It will just really test you overall as a person. If you are in like HR and like tech, like I know a friend of mine works in HR and tech, if you're just looking to change like to fashion or beauty or the restaurant business or what have you, like okay, that you probably won't need to start at the bottom. Like you have HR experience. It really does like just bring you down to like, is this actually what you want to do? Like I had plenty of times where I was like, what did I do? I just uprooted my cushy Chicago lifestyle to come here to New York, where it costs way more to live here. I'm making less than I was before, and every day I feel like I'm being tried. Every day. I just didn't want all of my hard work, all my sacrifice and everything to go to waste. New York stank. It smells horrendous. Like if you've ever been here to visit before and you're like, oh, it doesn't stink there, I've been there to visit, it's probably because you're in the tourist areas. I'd only been to New York 2 times before I actually came here. The second time was like maybe 2 weeks before, and the second time was when I realized like, oh, y'all are shit at it. Y'all stink. Anywhere where like the 1% of America does not live, you're gonna get a whiff. So just, you know, be aware of that. Like it does a little stink. This is a really big thing. New York City poor. New York City poor is basically when you only have money for your rent. Your rent is your #1 priority over everything else, because like you just rather not be on the subway or like in a subway station at night. Your food on your table, and doesn't matter if that's top ramen every night, you have the money for it. Thank God I've never been there, because I don't even like ramen that much. And your MTA card, because transit charges you an arm and a leg to get around here, and some people don't even have that. Some people it's just like your food in your house, and that's it. Like I think a lot of people move here like with the expectation of like the shininess that comes with New York. Like you're hopping in a cab or Uber, you're going out to eat, you're at the best restaurant, you're sipping your wine, blah blah. Like I came here, I was spending and living like I still lived in Chicago, and then reality hit me really quick, because I wasn't working for like maybe the first, I don't know, a week to 2 weeks of me living here. Whoa, girl, you don't have any money. You don't have any money. What are you doing? If you don't have experience in an industry, look into a temp agency, and there's just a few things you need to be aware of. Keep in mind that part of your salary is going to go to the temp agency. You see somewhere else that they're paying $50,000 for that job, and you're only getting $40,000 for it. That's probably because that other 10 is going to the temp agency for supplying like a candidate you to fill that job, and that other 40 will go to you. That's pre-tax, so you might be making like $30,000. So yeah, keep that in mind if you take a job with a temp agency. Now, one thing that is good is like a job or like going through a temp agency, like they're gonna have access to a lot of jobs that are available that you maybe might not have the access to. It's not bad per se, but there are pros and cons that come with it. I think overall that's about all the secrets that I have to share. If this is stuff that you already know, great. Somebody else probably didn't know it. I just want to share because those were things that I did not know first moving here, and I was really shocked by that. So that's it. I know I didn't do this full look on camera, which actually turned out a lot cuter than I thought. I just think it's really important to keep in mind if you're coming here that it's not gonna be all shiny Sex in the City right away. Just have the proper expectations, especially like when job hunting, when looking for apartments, and just like your mental state in general. Just try to be like super